everybody. How are we doing today? It's Amy, and welcome to the Altenew live stream on our YouTube and Facebook channel. And thank you for tuning in to Amy's Inspiration Station. Let me know you're out there. Today we are talking about gift tags. We're talking about those presents that you send. We make so much time, you get the gift and then you wrap up the gift. How much time are you spending on kind of the presentation of the gift? That's what we're talking about. Hey, Sue. Hi, Cynthia. It's so nice. Thank you so much for joining us. We have Hannah behind the badge today. Hello, Hannah. And thank you, Joan, for sharing this. And if you are like Joan and you share this live stream while we're live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And today we are talking tags. And we are talking presents, and we are talking about presentation of your gift. And I love our like crafty, things that we do about making cards because they make people feel good. And sometimes you send a little gift along. And so do you add a little tag? And how much time are you spending on that tag and everything else? So I'm so happy that you guys are here. Hello, Barb from Wisconsin. And Sue, thank you again for sharing. And hi, Connie. And hello from New Zealand. Hi, Anne. Thank you for putting that in. Very good morning to you, Anne, down there in New Zealand. And hi, Nancy from gray, gloomy San Francisco. And I'm still needing some chocolate there, Nancy. Wish I was back over there to get some Ghirardelli chocolate and a chowder in that little bread bowl down by the pier. I loved that when I was in San Francisco. Hi, Joan. And Connie, thank you for sharing. And Candy, yes, that's what we're talking about. How to step up those tags. What can we do with it? And Esther from San Diego, been down there, gorgeous. And Debbie from South Africa, not been to South Africa, Debbie. So I got to get over there. And Irene from the Netherlands. And yes, it's yes, and it's, well, I know I agree with you, Sue. Your card is kind of like a tag. But we're going to kind of step that up a little bit, how we can do that. Hi, how are you guys doing? So that's what we're talking about today. And I wanted to share two great tag sets. And we're also going to be talking about stencils. We're going to talk about blending with stencils and specifically the layering stencils. So these are stencils that don't have a stamp set that's connected with them. So these are stencils that are all on their own. And I absolutely love them. I think that they are absolutely great. And thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. I think if the bowl with the chowder got to me in New England, it might not be so super great, but I did love that. It's really, really fun down there. And thank you. Hi, Peggy from Indiana. And thank you for sharing this. And if you share this while we are live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card. And Hannah, who is behind the badge today, she is monitoring and she's going to add in some links if you want to either craft with me or shop with me. So we're going to go ahead and head down to my craft mat so we can have some fun. So get out your stuff. If you're crafting with me, let me know if you're crafting along or if you're just kind of watching and getting some inspiration from this live stream today. All right, here we go. All right, so we're down at my craft mat. Oh, thank you so much, Rosie. Thank you, Shiomara. Thank you, Cynthia, for sharing this. Hi, Deborah. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm really, really excited about what we have. Hi, Bethany, what we are doing today. So I am talking tags. I'm talking gift tags and kind of like how to step up those tags. And I'm also using this stencil, which is called the Meadow Burst stencil. This is a set of layering stencils. These stencils are not connected to any stamp set. And so that's what they are. Oh, good, Deborah. I'm glad you're getting some inspiration. And Barb, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited. We do these lives on Mondays and Thursdays and on Instagram on Wednesdays. So go ahead and, put that in your calendar that you're going to check us out at that time. All right. So I wanted to show you this Meadow Burst stencil. I made a card with it. We're not going to be making cards today. We're going to be making gift tags instead. So we're going to cut this up. And I am so glad, Sue, this is a great set. I kind of use this a lot, especially when I have those odds ends, like you make a big background and you don't know what the heck to do with it. I just cut some tags out of it so that way I have it ready for me. And then it's kind of ready to go. But we're going to, just wanted to show you this stencil that we have. I also have a second stencil, and I'm like, I am completing my collection, if you will. I'm very slow in these things, and I'm very meticulous. You can tell I'm a scientist. And I also have the anemone branch stencil. And I know, Hannah, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this one today, but I wanted to let you guys know, if you don't know, we have virtual workshops that run every Tuesday and Thursday, not in the summer. We're only doing Tuesdays in the summer, but back in September, we'll be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I am teaching this stencil. So if you want to hang out with me and do some craftiness, I put a link in there. You can go ahead and sign up for that class. And we will be stenciling with the anemone branch stencil. This is not the card we're going to make. We're going to make some other things. But, and if you purchase the stencil and the die, you get the class for free. So if you don't have this set, if you also want to kind of do that, I just want to let you know, just a little bit of a thing. On August 30th, that is my class from 3 to 4 on the anemone stencil. So yes, this is great. This is great, Cynthia. Because this stencil, it's gorgeous. The first time I saw it, I don't remember who it was that did it, but I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, good. I'm so glad, 42 Rosie, that you have these on each week, because they are so much fun. I love the inspiration. So, you know, the few of us that do these, and it's always a little bit different every time that we go around. All right. So let's talk about the Meadowburst stencil. This, again, is a stencil that does not have a stamp set that is connected to it. And these are the layering stencils. And I love these because they create this like really beautiful ethereal look to them. And you can mess around. So you saw that I did this in purples and grays. This is, they show you the example in greens and pinks. We're going to be doing more of this today. And they're just really easy to put together. So this stencil, as you can see, is 6x6. They are numbered up at the top, so it tells you what the number is. Of course, you guys can't see that, so I'm going to take my Altenew black artist marker and just put these numbers in, so that way you can see what they are. And then this one also, not all of them, but this one has these dots, and these dots are there to line up the stencil. And so that helps you to line up the stencil. And I find them to be really, really helpful. So that way I'm not kind of moving everything around and seeing what the heck is going on. All right. So I just marked those in there so that way you could see where I was going with all of this. All right. Vicki and Serena, thank you so much for sharing this. I really appreciate it. If you share this live while we're live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card. And let me know if you kind of step up your gifts by making tags. Do you do homemade tags, etc.? Let me know. All right, and that's what we're going to be talking about is tags. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to stencil with the Meadowburst stencil. I wanted to show you guys while I'm here, because in order to do stenciling, you need some brushes. And so Altenew has 4 different brushes. Oh, here they are. Has 4 different brushes that that help with, depending on the job that you want to do. So we have our large blending brush. This is amazing for backgrounds. You can see how much this gets, and I just wanted to show you guys. I have a little blank piece of paper here. I'm just going to grab a little bit of ink and grab some of this. So even just with a little bit of ink, and I know I already have some blue on here, this is going to give you a ton of coverage. And so just in a really short period of time, I can cover a lot of the paper. And I love how soft it looks. And I didn't do a great job about, coming off the paper, but it's nice and soft and it gives it a great look. This is the small blending tool. So these come in a set of 4. And these bristles are very soft. So they're not compacted. And so when you use this one, So this was the large. That's the large. Let me go in just a little bit. I didn't realize how far out I was. Sorry about that. My camera is not totally responding. Might need a new battery in that. All right, so that's the large. And then this is the small. And so if I grab the same ink, it just isn't even softer. So you can kind of see the difference between them. And I'm using a pretty dark ink. So that's the small. Those bristles really kind of splay out a little bit. And then, so that's the small. And then this is the mini. The minis also come in a set of 4. And the bristles are really compact together. And so you will get a little bit darker, but you can see the coverage. I'm really making sure it's kind of getting into a very, very small section. And then our final one is the blending. And so, sorry, the detail. So the detail brushes come in a set of 3. And they are 3 different sizes. So you have this one that is larger, then you have a medium, and then you have this little bitty tiny guy. And so I'll just use this larger one. And the detail brushes, and they're angled too. So they do exactly what you think they're going to do, which is they will even do a smaller section. And that is what the detail brushes do. All of these together, I think, are really great to have in your arsenal. If you want to cover large sections, medium-sized sections, this is the Goldilocks of brushes. Mini sections, and then really, really super, super duper tiny sections. And then in order to get this ink off, I just brush it on a cloth. That's what I do. I don't know if anybody else has a different tack to it. And then if I need to, I can just kind of brush it on a paper and that will come off. What's nice about the detail brushes is the ink comes off really quickly because there's not a lot of ink that they happen to pick up. But those bristles are pretty compact, but you can see that they splay out a little bit. And so the mini is a lot more compact in where those bristles are. So I just wanted to show you, I don't know if you ever knew that Altenew had 4 different types of blending brushes. Do I need all of those 4? And that's really up to you what it is that you need, but it's really about the job that they do. So I'm going to use these as we do the Meadow Brush Stencil. So I just wanted to show you that if I'm grabbing a mini, or if I'm grabbing a small, or I'm grabbing a large, it's because, or the detail, it's because it does a specific job. All right, so I'm just wiping off my stamping mat, and I'm going to grab a piece of 6x6 cardstock. I don't always use 6x6. I'm doing it today because I wanted to take this background and I want to use it and cut it up into pieces. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. I do too, Serena. I love these brushes, and they are, I use them all. I kind of went through and I bought a litany of brushes, and then I'm like, it's just not going to happen for me. So I did, these are the only 4 I use. I don't grab for anything else anymore. This is it. All right. So when I put this stencil down, so this is stencil number 1. And if you're like, Amy, what the heck is stencil number 1 going to do? What color do I need to put in there? What's it going to end up being? So stencil number 1 is the very, very, it's the lightest one, and it's the background. So it's all of these outside leaves, and there's no detail to it. So this is the one we're going to make our lightest. So I'm going to, now as I do this, I'm just going to kind of very, very lightly with my pencil, just make some marks. And I can erase these. It's not a problem. But I just wanted to make those marks because that's going to help me to line up the other stencils. All right, so I'm going to grab, hello from Nambia. How are you doing, Marina? And Lisa, thank you for sending this via email. And thank you so much for sharing this. And if you are like Lisa and you share this live while we're live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. Hannah is behind the badge today, and she's looking for you to let us know that you have shared this and where you have shared it to. All right, so I'm going to grab some green ink, and I'm actually going to grab this. I have 2 greens today because I wanted to play around with these 2 sets. And so the first set I'm pulling from is Green Valley. So that's the first set that I'm pulling from. And yeah, I agree, Lisa. Like, they are an afterthought. And I'm like, what's great is let's use these, and thinking about them as, I have extra backgrounds. I can cut them up to make tags. That's usually what I do. Hi, Stacy from South Florida. And thank you so much, Dana, for sharing. And Stacy, thank you for sharing this live. And let's see. So I have quite a bit of detail in here. So I'm actually going to grab my mini brush. I thought I had a green in here. These come in sets of 4, which is really nice. And I love the fact that they have their own little carrying package. So this is the mini one. And so you can see how those bristles are. So I'm just going to take that ink. I'm going to tap a little bit off, and then I'm just going to go in. And I am actually, this is, I know, our lightest. And you're like, Amy, that's kind of dark. But we're going to use the inks from the other ones to make them a little bit darker. And you can see I'm just trying to get like an edge to it as I go along. So my edge is going to be a little bit darker. And I'll show that to you when we come up. And all I'm doing is just getting a little bit of variation. I'm not pressing down too much. I am kind of controlling it that way. And I just want to get that ink on. And let me show you. I'm going to grab my small just so you can kind of see the difference with this. Let me grab that small. So I'm now going to do these last 2 with the small just so you can see how this comes up. I have a little less control with this. So these are really great. So you can see how much ink I'm putting down with these, with that small. So let me show you what this looks like when we do the reveal. It's my favorite part of stencils, it's the reveal. So you can see that we have that down all the way. Yes, I agree, Dana. Oh, hi, Sue. Yes, seeing an Altenew live. Thank you for sharing. And Deborah, thank you for sharing. Oh, and yes, Anne, that's so great. I do that too. Sometimes it's like I like to put effort into the tags because it's kind of special when you get like a gift and it's got like, oh, it's got all the stuff with it. And they look really, really super nice. And again, it's easy because you can just make them out of your backgrounds. And so it ends up being really easy. All right. So again, the first stencil we had, which fit directly on the paper, had these circles. So because I took a second and marked those circles with my pencil, I can now line up the second stencil really easy. And so this is going to be a little bit of that darker green. So where's my tape? I'm going to put this down. And I'm going to keep checking my stencil guide, which is in the packaging, to let me know what the heck I'm doing and what colors I need to put down. So this is stencil 2. So I'm going into even more of the foliage, but it looks like it's a little bit of a darker color. So I'm going to now grab from this set, which is Tropical Forest. And I just want to show you guys the difference here. These greens are like, these are green. This is like my Christmas green, which is Mountain Pine. And Shadow Creek, this is like my greens. And this is a little bit more yellowy. So I'm just going to mix and match these just to show you that although I love Altenew for the fact that you can, just don't worry about it and you have one set of inks and you can just go for it. I like the fact that with my, I can mix and match between sets of 2. So this is olive ink and this is coming out of the Tropical Forest. Oh, that's a great idea, Sue, to make bookmarks. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Margaret. Thank you so much for joining. If you share this live while we're live, Hannah will check that out and you will be entered to win a $15 gift card. And Hannah is the one behind the badge putting in the links. All right, so now I'm going to go with the olive and I'm going to go with the mini blending tool. These ones have quickly become my favorite. And I think it's because I feel like I have more control with them, and I can also get some detail in there. In the sense of how I hold my brush, if I'm holding it a little bit different, if I want to press down a little bit and get some more ink in, I feel like I have better control with these. And these are really, really tiny little sections here that we're doing because we're now getting into the detail of the of these leaves. You can cover with tape these holes. I just kind of make sure that my fingers over it, or I kind of am holding everything down, so I'm not totally going over it. So I'm not blending over that. All right, and this is where I did that darker one, so this one's going to be a little bit tricky to see if that comes out. Okay, so that was the olive. So we did grass field, and then we did olive. Those were the two. All right, so now I'm going to pull this off, and we're going to see what we got. So now we're getting that green is starting to come up. All right. Oh, thanks, Wendy. Thanks for sharing. And if you share while we're live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. All right, so this is our third stencil. Again, I'm going to line these holes up, and now we got way more green. So you can see that we're not exactly, it's not more detail. It's kind of like an extra green that we're doing. All right, so here we go. So now let me put these down. And you can see again that the stencil doesn't match up with the paper. That's why those holes are there. Checking this. So stencil 3 is giving us a different color green. So I'm going to go back to Green Valley, and I am going to grab, I'm going to try Firefly first, and then I think I'm going to go over to Shadow Creek. I just want to see what it looks like with a lighter green. All right, so I'm going to clean off my brush. And we are going to use this background to cut up and make some tags for some gifts. Because we are, in my family, we head into birthday season is what I call it. For some reason, my family members, we start our birthdays in July and we go all the way through December. That's the way it kind of rolls. All right, so this is Firefly. And again, I'm using this mini blending brush, and I could probably go, and I think I'm going to switch in just a second. This is a little too much for this, so I'm actually going to switch over to my small brush. I'm just going to take off that ink that I had before really quickly. All right, and I'm going to grab this Firefly. It's just because there's so much coverage, and my mini can get that done a little bit faster. All right, and now I'm going right in. And what's nice with the mini is it does give you a lot of coverage quickly in small areas. Because those bristles are splayed out, they're going to get into those areas that it needs to. And I can always go in, and I'll show you in a second what I'm about to do. Since I have enough of this coverage on, I'm going to go in with my mini tool after the small, and I can get a little bit more detail. Because these ones, I think they have a detail layer, which is going to be on stencil 4. But I can come in and just extra shade a couple of those areas, because this is going to get that ink really, really down there. Okay, let's just see what it looks like with the Firefly. I may switch over to a darker green. Ooh, I like that. All right, so that looks really nice. So, all right, so that's my Firefly. I'm going to keep Firefly. And then the fourth stencil is now the detail layer of what we just put down. So again, I'm using those circles that I started with on stencil 1, and I'm laying it down over that and just kind of lining it up. And I'm lining it up with the circles, and I'm kind of eyeballing where these other pieces are. And if it should be right around where it needs to be. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. You can see me shifting it just a little bit, just to make sure that everything is going to work. And if it's a little off, I call it artistic. That's what I kind of think of it, is artistic. All right, so I'm gonna bop on back over to Tropical Forest, and I'm actually gonna grab the Parrot and check that out. And if that doesn't work, I'm gonna head over to Olive. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my mini, because we're getting into a little bit of smaller areas here. just taken off that firefly. And now I'm heading over into Parrot. All right, I'm just going to check it, see what it looks like, see if I like it. Ooh. I think I'm going to go a little bit over to Olive. All right, so I'm going to head over to Olive. So I'm switching up. I always do that. Kind of non-committal with ink sometimes. Just want something a little bit darker. And honestly, I may head over to Moss. I just want to check this and see if I like it. I think I'm going to head to Moss. All right, let me head over to Moss. So Moss in Tropical Forest is the darkest color. And I just want a little bit more depth in this. Okay. This poor branch. Oh, yeah, I like that better. Okay, so now I'm using, because again, this is pretty small, these little sections, I'm using the mini brush here. Oh, yeah, Sue, aren't these beautiful? Oh, Carmen, thank you. And thank you for sharing. Yeah, Sue, I love these too. I went on a quest. It's kind of like buying a pair of jeans or fitting into a bathing suit or, finding that like perfect little black dress. It's finding the perfect blending brushes. And I went on a quest, and I think I purchased just about every single one. And I had some favorites that I loved. And then when Altenew came out with these, I was like, okay, I'm done. I found them. I found my bathing suit. I found my little black dress. And this is the one I'm just going to wear for the rest of my life. And that's that. All right. So now this is our green. So I'm going to pop these off. So you can see the beautiful different colors that we got on there. Really, really gorgeous. Oh, Miss Tamp, thank you for sharing to Instagram, and Dawn as well. And Sue, I love mixing the Green Valley with the Tropical Forest because you're getting these like bright greens and they can be kind of toned down with these olives. I really, really like those. Tropical Forest. Here we go. Oops. All right. So I'm pushing my greens just to kind of clear off my space. I'm just kind of getting them out of my way. And now we're going to come in with colors. And I'm going to ask you guys, would you like these flowers to be pink or purple? Pink or purple? What do you think? Pink or purple? So I have Enchanted Garden. Thank you so much, Connie. It's this stencil. I got to tell you, it's so quick, but it makes such a huge, huge difference. So I have purple's Enchanted Garden, and I have pink in the Cherry Blossom. What do you think? What would you like to see those of? I've seen a lot of purples, purple, purple, purple. I love, thank you, 42 Rosie, for putting those purple hearts in. All right, I'm seeing a lot of purples, purple, purple, purple. There's a couple of pinks coming in. Pink, 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 pink. Okay, I think the purples are winning it, Miss Tamp. Thank you, Sylvia. All right, and yeah, but I think pink. Yeah, I'm gonna, you know what we can do? Let's mix them and see what happens. I'm going to start by, let me lay down a little bit of this. And I like to mix these too, because these are the purpley, these are pretty purpley pinks. You can see they have just a little bit, well, a little on the red, but I see them as pretty close in terms of a color wheel. Like this would go with this one. So I'm going to start here, and then I'm going to add the purple in for the detail. So this stencil, so there's 5 stencils here. And Stencil 5 contains both the color of the flowers, and there's a little bit of detail to those flowers. And so this one's a little tricky to note. This thing over on the side, that is the middle. So we're not going to deal with this yet. So that one we don't care about. This is going to be our flowers. So I'm going to line up these 3 dots again. And that's going to get us our flowers. All right. Now, what's tricky is we don't want this guy. So I'm going to add a little bit of tape over him just to make sure I don't go over there. Because sometimes I get a little overzealous in my inking. And I don't always want that to go. All right, I think I'm going to do it. Actually, let me do it the other way. I'm going to do hydrangea. Hydrangea is gorgeous. So this is hydrangea. And I'm going to grab, I don't have a purple small guy. I'm going to use both the mini and the small blending brush here. And that's because I have this very large open section and these bristles are pretty tight. And my mini would do a better job on there. And I don't have a purple, so I'm just going to share this for a second. So you can see this color. I'm going over kind of light. And oh, darn it all. I knew I was going to do that. That's all right. I'll cut it out. And it's the whole. I'm so good. I was so good until Stencil 5. Oh, Stencil 5 got me, guys. All right, so this one I am doing. All right, so there's our purple. And I just put down a really, really light cover. And as I pull this up, don't look at this dot. Doesn't exist. Dot does not exist. Now is where I'm going to do that second section of the stencil. And so that is right here. Now, if you look at this, you can kind of see it makes a triangle or kind of like a little bit of a wavy triangle. Can you see that this is a wavy triangle here too? And so I'm just going to place my wavy triangle on top of the wavy triangle. And I'm just lining it up and it's as easy and peasy as that. I know you're like, that can't be true. And it absolutely is. Now, again, sometimes I can be overzealous with my stencil. This is definitely, in fact, let's bring them in. We're going to show you the detail brush. So let me clean off that blue, because otherwise we're going to get a really, really funky color. So I'm going to use the number 10 detail brush, and this is really great for getting into these really, really tiny nooks and crannies. Okay, just double checking. Yeah, I'm good. So I'm actually going to pull in this raspberry. And the raspberry is this absolutely beautiful dark, dark pink. And so you can see mixing these two together. These two colors go really well together. Sorry, these two color families. I like to use Cherry Blossom and Enchanted Garden because I feel like they go together. And I can get this dark, and that's that's really what I want. Is I want this to be nice and dark. So now when I pull this off, and again, avoid the dot, please. Is now I have this beautiful thing. I'm going to grab my eraser, and I can erase my circles. Okay, and that one does not exist. We're just going to pretend that doesn't exist. All right, so there's my circles. So, yes, I know, Sue. It's like, oh, I was so good until Stencil 5. Stencil 5 ruined me, man. Not cool. All right, so now let me take a second. I'm just going to kind of clean everything up. So here is our Meadow Burst. So this is the Meadow Burst stencil. It's a 5 stencil set, but it doesn't come with a coordinating stamp. So it's not a coloring stencil in the sense that it colors in a stamped image. This is a stencil that is a standalone stencil, but does not come with a coloring, any sort of stamp. So it's not like you're coloring in a stamped image. And these are part of a group of stencil. If you go on to the Altenew website and you're like, oh my gosh, I love this, I want more. I, like Amy, am going to build my collection. Search under layering stencil, and then you're going to find these. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you. I agree. This is a beautiful stencil. Thanks, Connie. It's really, really super nice. All right. So now what the heck are we going to do with this thing? So I think it's beautiful as it is. And I showed you before that I had a card. So this stencil it kind of fits on an A2 size card. As you can see, it's made for a 6x6. And if you want to use those dots, I tend to do it on a 6x6 and then just cut that down. So what we're going to do is now we're going to talk tags. So there's 2 sets, and you can see I'm just kind of cleaning up because, as you know, for some reason we always seem as big as your desk is. Why are we crafting in a 2x, literally a 6-inch space? I don't know. I do it too, unfortunately. So I have to like clean up and get my stuff ready for the next step. All right, so we are looking up. So I am going to show you guys 2 tag sets. The first one is the Terrific Tags die set. I love this. When the heck did this come out? 2020. This is like a staple. I have like a bin of like stamps and things that like never, like I always just am using, and that's next to me on my desk. And then if I want something different, I'll go into like, you know, my stash that's all alphabetized and organized. This is one of the things that stays with me. It's really, really super great. And I agree, Samuel, the detail you can get with this stencil and it is gorgeous. And then if you're using the different blending tools, you can get even more variation. And then no, Nancy, there is not a die for this stencil. Unfortunately, this would be something that you would have to cut out. I don't have that patience, but you definitely could. I wish, right, Nancy? Because that would be gorgeous if this had its own. What you're hearing right now is me trying to get the tags out of the package, and I'm fighting with the tape. Okay, and I broke my tape. That's all right. Moving on. All right, so this comes with, how many dies are in here? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 dies in here. And what I love is all the different sizes. And then each size has either the fishtail, if you want that, or it has the, you know, just the straight bottom. I'm going to go straight bottom. I'm not a fishtail person. I don't know if you guys are into like fishtails for your tags, but I like this. Ruth, thank you so much for sharing this. If you also can be like Ruth and be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew, if you share this and let us know where you share it. Hannah is behind the badge, who is putting in all of these, everything that's kind of happening with us today. And she will be announcing the winner at the end of this live. All right, so what I'm looking for right now is I'm just kind of lining up my tag to see where I want this to go. That would be really pretty, wouldn't it? Oh, I like that. And I think I'm going to look. Oh, I think I like this. All right, so I'm going to grab this section. Doesn't that look nice? So I'm just kind of placing my tag on here just to see where it is that I want to cut this out. Now I can run this through, and I'm going to do this in just a second. Do I want to run this through? I'm going to run this through my big one. I was going to use my Blossom, but I'm going to, because this is a 6x6, I'm going to run it through my larger machine. All right, so let me tap this on, and we are going to make a gift tag. Now, always you need a sentiment for this, and I'm going to show you kind of a quick way to get a sentiment. There's a little tag in here, these guys down here, and we're going to stamp a sentiment on there, and we're going to have 2 tags. So there's going to be 2 tags hanging off of this one. All right, so let me grab this. And what's nice about like that one 6x6 panel, hold on. Oh, it's like so much. I swear I should be stronger and have more muscles with because of my die cut machine. All right, so what's nice with this is I can cut a ton of tags out of this. Well, I can probably cut like maybe 2 more, maybe 1 or 2 more tags out of this. Use it for backgrounds, but just look at that. So that's what we pulled out. It's gorgeous. Oh, hello, Christine. And Hannah is behind the badge today. And Deborah, oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? Yes, and that's what I agree, Sue, is that you can do both the fishtail if you want that like kind of cool look, or you can do the straight edge. And I agree, Nancy, there's no way that I can be fussy cutting this. So again, we used our Meadowburst stencil, and then I just used the Terrific Tags die set to pull a tag out of this. Now I'm going to use this tiny guy. In fact, I think I'm going to use the fishtail tiny banner guy down here. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of white. So I just have some like random white cardstock on my desk. Legit, I didn't plan this. I looked at myself and I'm like, oh my God, Amy, you forgot some scrap paper. It was on my desk. I'm just going to run this through, and I'm going to run this through my mini Blossom. And my friend, I'm going to give a huge shout out to my friend Bridget Casey, because she was so kind and she sent me the metal shim because I was complaining to her one of the other days. So that's the other reason why I'm making gift tags as thank you notes, because my friend sent me metal shim for this. So I'm going to use it right now and show it to you. So the metal, yes, I did, Deborah. I said Hannah, she is behind the badge. And I'm just getting the glue off of this. So just use it. And what the metal shim does, just gives you a little bit more of an impression, and so you can cut things easier. But this thing, honestly, as you can see, I use it a lot and haven't really needed this shim. There's been like a couple of times where I'm like, oh, I wish I had that shim. And then my friend Bridget Casey got that for me. So I'm just going to run this through my little guy. It's really great for the word dies, which we're going to be using in just a second. Okay, so that is metal shim. And so now we have this really cute fishtail banner. So that's going to go right here. And I'm going to put this down. In fact, I think I might ink it up on the sides with purple. All right, so let me move that. And what I want to do is I want to stamp a sentiment on here. And I'm going to grab the sentiment strips banner, and I think I want to do, I'm just looking for sizes. Let's see. Oh, you're so kind. We're going to do that one. So as a thank you gift, this is really nice because it's got a lot of stuff on here. There's 3 sentiment strip stamp sets. I just grabbed the regular one, and I love them all. I have them all because I think that they're super fabulous. So I'm going to go You're So Kind because I might do this for a friend. Maybe I mentioned that friend already. I am just going to go ahead and do this with my Obsidian ink, and I'm doing this freehand. So for those of you out there who are screaming right now that you should get out your stamping platform tool. Please don't do it, Amy. You're going to mess it up. I'm with you. I'm feeling those fears too, but I'm going to go for it. And I'm just going to tape this down on my mat so I know it's straight and it doesn't move on me, because they always jump on you, don't they? They always jump on you. All right, semi-straight, not straight. And okay, there we go. All right, and then I'm just going to grab some Obsidian ink. Fits perfectly. And I love this Obsidian too because it's great for little sentiments like this. Sorry if my head's in the way. All right, and 1, 2, 3. Whoop. I did it. I know. Thanks. Thank you. And I agree with you, Ruth. The sentiment strips are great. All 3 sets are fabulous. They really cover everything. I just grabbed this because this was in my right next to me. And save the dot from that die and cover the spot. That's a good idea, Nancy. And Deborah, yes, isn't Hannah fabulous for putting all of those in there? So great. All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to grab my handy dandy tool here, aka a clothespin. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of wisteria ink, I think. Actually, I can probably just grab the ink that's in here. Still. What the heck is in here? Oh, nope, it's not in there anymore. I'm just going to grab a little bit of wisteria ink, and I'm just going to ink right up the sides just to make it, just so they stand out right on here. And that's what's nice. I probably should be using the detail brushes, but I just put those away. And I want to go really soft because I do want this to stand out. But I want it with the purple, but I don't want to add too much ink to it because I don't want to take away from my my image that's on there already. So I'm just adding a little bit of ink to the side. And it's so funny how just something like so simple, like adding a little bit of shading of ink to like a piece of paper really does help. I was always kind of like, oh no, it's not, but it really does help you. All right, I'm going to get this, make him a little bit more purple. All right, so now, there we go. So that little tag, so you can see how that looks. And if I had some thread, you can see how that goes. So it's cute, right? And again, you are, I would have stamped first and then try to wiggle the die around it. True. It's just really cute. And so you can see this on like a thank you basket or anything at all that you can put this on, and it's really done, and it's super duper easy. It does, right, Christine? It just makes it a little bit, it just makes it jump out a little bit more. So that's my first guy. All right, thanks, Stacy. I got about 15 minutes, and I wanted to show you guys another thing I was playing with, and that was inking up embossing folders. And I think I'll probably do this in a different live. And I love this one. This is another one that is in like my stash of like, you know, I really, really love this. Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Shamar. Thanks, Christine. I appreciate it. And again, I'm just trying to like, hey, you know what? Get those tags. Think about your backgrounds. Even just a little section that you cut off, you can do that. All right, so this is the floating foliage embossing folder. It's gorgeous. Love it, right? And so to every embossing folder, and I don't know why mine has white on it. I think it's probably because I used embossing ink and did not clean up after myself. There is an embossed and a debossed side. And so if you ink up, you can ink up your embossing folders, which I do a lot. And if you ink up the emboss side, which is the side that has this name on it, the ink is going to get to the background, and then this image will show up whiter. These like little darker parts will also show up. And I don't have an example of that. I thought I grabbed one. Sorry about that. I actually want to use my blending tools, and I want to ink up the deboss side. And the deboss side is the side that presses into the paper. And so we're going to take a look at that. So I'm going to grab my green ink. I'm going to grab green ink. And this is that Green Valley. I'm going to make a Christmas tag, so I wanted to show you this color. So I'm actually going to grab Shadow Creek, and I'm going to grab my large tool. And I need to double check that I don't have any ink on it, any blue on it, which I know I have a ton on it. All right. Oh, that's nice. Yes, Marion. They are beautiful. Oh, yeah, Ruth. The floral embossing folders, in fact, it's too bad. I take so long because I love chatting with you all. And I was going to play around with the peony one, which is right here. And I didn't tell Hannah about it, so this is a little surprise for Hannah. I'm so sorry. Which is Frilly Peonies, which is gorgeous. And you can actually take the detail brushes and you can ink this up yellow and pink and green and get a whole bunch of different colors. And we can actually do that here as well. So I'm just going to grab this Shadow Creek. I might still have some blue on there. And I'm just going to lightly go over this. And again, with the large tool, I can cover a lot really quickly. And I like doing this versus using an ink pad, because you're like, you could just use the ink pad. But I feel like I get more control and I can lay down the ink that I want on it. There are some places, like I'll show you, I'm going to use the detail brush, or not the detail brush, but the mini brush. And I can grab, because this is Shadow Creek, and I'm going to grab a little bit of Mountain Pine just to add a little bit of differentiation of color. So again, I'm doing a 6x6 piece because I know I'm going to cut it down into some tags. And this is another great way to use your embossing folders. Like, oh, what else can I do with these things? I cut them up and I can make 4 or 5 tags out of them. All right, so I'm just going to come in. This is Shadow Creek again. Let's try a different color, which is Mountain Pine. So I'm just going to come in with this Mountain Pine. And I'm just going to start, oops, that was too much. I'm just going to add just a little bit more ink just to the middle of these leaves. And it's just going to give us a little bit of variation. Now, I have to say, when I run this through the machine, that ink, it's good to kind of go bold. If you go light, it is very, very light, and it will be very light on there. So I kind of tend to go a little bit bolder with my colors on there. All right. Okay, so now we got this. I'm going to add a little bit of in the folders. Oh my gosh, I agree, Ruth. These folders are so good. And Deborah, I barely started card making. I'm so glad you found us then, Deborah. These lives are so great. There is so much inspiration from Altenew. We have classes if you want to take classes with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays, except in the summer. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water just to kind of activate that. And I'm not anywhere near this. Like I'm up on my face spraying this. Ooh, that went in the wrong direction. And I'm using Mr. Mister. He's one of my, he sits next to me. He's my buddy. And I'm just going to spray my embossing folder just a little bit just to get those fibers to go. All right. So really, really carefully, I'm going to place this down because as soon as I place this down, it's going to ink my paper. So I don't want to move it. And I'm going to just press. And then now that paper is in there. All right. So I'm going to run this through my machine. So I'll be right back. I'm going to run this through my machine and we're going to take a look at this. And this is the floating foliage. And again, we're taking a look, using and kind of stepping up your tag game. So when you're giving out gifts and presents, do you take a bit of time to make those tags? And so I'm just showing you a couple of ways that you can kind of step up those tags. All right, so now that's our emboss side, but now we're looking at our deboss side. And so you can see that these are all there. And oh, that's great, Ruth. Yeah, there's yes, Candy, that's actually a great idea because you're just looking for like a little bit of a section. And that's all you need because you might have a panel that looks terrible, but there's a section that you like. Grab that section and make a tag out of it. All right, so I had been using the Terrific Tags die set. And I'm going to show you a second die set, which is the Holiday Tag Sentiments. These are like my two go-tos. Love this one. If you can even just get the die set, but the die set has another tag to it. And this tag is rounded at the top where these are cut off at the top. So it just depends on the look that you're going for. So I'm going to show you this one. And what's cool about this is you actually have these little other pieces that can give you some different colors. And there's a ton of great sentiments on here for Christmas and other things. So, but it's great. And I agree, Christine, it's such a great journey. We have such an amazing community. I think I really love card making for the community, I swear. All right, so I am looking around and just kind of eyeballing, where do I want to put this? I like this. That looks really cool. All right, I'm going to go right here. So now I'm going to run this through my machine. Again, you guys are giving me a workout today, man. Getting my workout in. All right, so let me tape that down. Now I was going to, I don't know if I have enough time, but I was going to use the leftover panels that I had to actually make cards with. So that way your tags and your cards can match. Oh, that's a tough one. Now, I know I ran this through a second time, so it's going to flatten out any of this raised section. So I can run this through my embossing folder again, but I'm okay. I'm okay with the fact that it's a little bit flatter. There we go. All right, so that's this section. So you can see how pretty that looks. And I wanted to actually do with this, let's see. Pulling out everything today. Sorry, Hannah, this wasn't on. Yeah, I do, Christine. I do love it. It's like I love the burn for it. And yes, I agree, Nancy. I do get a couple of different packages there, and I might need to also trying to get dies off of tape. Whoa, it's a lot. All right, that happy is really big. I didn't think it was that big. Holidays, birthday, anniversary. That happy is big. All right, so we're going to do this a different way. So this this die set is called All About Wishes. I'm so sorry, Hannah, I didn't put this one on the list. It's All About Wishes. It's great because you have happy. It has the shadow and the like line die. And you can start to put things together because it's a builder set. And so you have anniversary, birthday, wishes, and holidays. And so I'm going to use this holidays. And I'm actually going to cut it out of the gold mirrored cardstock. And I have some hiding over here. This is just came out. Let me grab this. Here. Brush gold. I would, if you're thinking about, you know, I know we're getting close to like, oh no, I got to start my holiday cards. Grab this. There's also a rose gold, which I haven't laid my hands on yet, but I'm really excited to. And there's also a silver. Great for snowflakes. All right, great for snowflakes. And that might be a little bit of a foreshadowing of something coming. So brush gold metallic cardstock, beautiful. I like the fact that it's subtle and it's not shiny, you know, super duper shiny, and it's really easy to use. It die cuts super, super well. So I'm going to go ahead and die cut this. I'm just going to cut this out so I can run it through my tiny machine because Nancy, I got to tell you, my arm is a little tired right now from doing all this. Oh, Christine, did you already start them? Oh my gosh, you're awesome. I am not there. I am just enjoying my summer and not thinking about anything that I have to do at all. Just kind of enjoying it and seeing what's going on. All right, so let's get this out. I'm going to now show you that shim. So this is where my friend Bridget in getting that metal shim is now going to come in handy because this is really going to cut this out because that's, you know, that's pretty thin, but using that shim is going to help out quite a bit. All right, so I'm going to put this guy in. And the mini blossom, again, these are all tools that I use on my desk all the time. So they don't really leave. They kind of have a permanent home on my desk, which is probably also why it feels like I craft in like a very, very small section of space. All right, that goes right over here. All right, so that is right here. And need pokey tool to go ahead and get this out. All right. All right. Look how pretty that is. It's gorgeous. Love it. All right. So this, that holidays goes right in. And I got to say, Deborah, it's a really, really cute little machine. All right. I'm going to pull this out. And I'm going to also do the fishtail die from the Terrific Tags die set, which I have right here. So I'm going to cut another section of this out of my white cardstock. So let me bring that mini blossom back in. See, I'm telling you, I always grab them all the time. It's like I use them and then I need them again. All right, so we're just going to grab this right out of the white section. And I know I'm getting close to time. Oh my gosh, I got 2 minutes. I'm going to make it. Is everybody praying for me out there? I'm going to make it. Okay, so we got that down. Cut this out. Really, really quick. Oh, that's such a great idea, Christine. And pokey tool. Yeah, you will, Deborah. Trust me, you will be using a lot of it. It's but it's fun. I enjoy it. It's like, you know, this is the thing that stressful day at work or whatever. I just kind of, I make dinner, I do the dishes, and then I come up and I craft for a little bit before bed. That's what I do. So after I like put the kids to bed, that's what I'm doing. I'm coming up here. All right, so this time I want to use happy, and I'm going to go ahead and just put this down again. And I have some happy up here, but it's not separate. So I'm just going to grab it. Here we go, happy anniversary. And I'm only going to ink up the happy part. That's all. So I'm just going to get this right on my stamp block. Use some masking tape to make sure that's covered find my black ink, stamp that side, pull off masking tape, make sure there's nothing else hiding, and I'm just going to put this right here. You could put Happy Holidays and then have the holidays sticking down, but that way, same thing, I would ink it up with the green ink, and then you have just a little sweet tag that you have for that. All right, so I am right off. Thanks, Sue. I appreciate that. So I just wanted to show you, so just again, what we did is we used the Meadow Burst stencil, and after I stenciled that 6x6 panel, here it is, all I did was I cut out a tag using our Terrific Tags die set, and just use the stamp set in order to stamp You're So Kind. And this is great to add on to a gift basket if you're thanking somebody. I think it's just really adorable. And then this is just kind of thinking about those holiday tags, because I know we give a lot of gifts at that time. And using the embossing folder, this is the floating foliage. And I just inked up the debossing side with some green ink and added in the holidays from the All About Wishes die set, and then added the happy to that. So thank you, Christine. And can I bring it up to the camera? Absolutely. Absolutely, I can. In fact, I think I can go down to camera. Let me zoom in for you. I think that's as far as I can go. So this is the You're So Kind. So you can see that. Thanks, Nancy, and thanks for joining us on this. And then this is my little Happy Holidays that I have not adhered to, but you can see that holidays. And I kind of like my sentiments to float off my tag. I don't mind that. You could also, if you wanted to, put this sideways, and then that way the happy probably makes a little bit more sense there. So let's do that. And now it's a sideways tag. So that's our Happy Holidays right there. Thanks, Connie. You let me know. I might be sending something over to you. So yes, Barb, it's so fun. It's really, really super fun. And I really encourage you to take a look at your backgrounds that you have and see what it is that you might want to use. Grab those tag sets. Even if you just I kind of cut a bunch of tags and I leave them in a little drawer. And then when I have a gift, I just grab that tag, stick something on it, and then I'm good to go. So that way you're not, because I don't know about you, but I always tend to do gifts at the last minute. And so that way you have those up there. So I hope that was inspirational for you. And I just wanted to say thank you all so much for tuning in to Amy's Inspiration Station. And thank you so much for Hannah, who is behind the badge today. And I hope that you have a wonderful day and you get a little bit of crafty time today. And thank you so much for letting Altenew craft your life. So we will see you later. Bye, everybody. It was so great to have you today. Bye.